Hi girls, I'm Susie.
And I'm Sherry.
Grab a coffee or your favorite cup of tea.
Pull up a seat and take a deep breath.
We are dropping the pretenses.
And we're letting go of the need for perfection.
Come join the conversation. This is the Pink Seat.
Hi girls,
Hello.
welcome back to the Pink Seat.
Yay, we're here another week.
Another week.
Yeah.
Boy,
so
they
good.
fly by. Don't they fly by?
Yeah, that's very true.
I think they're just jam-packed full of things. And then all of a sudden we'll be like, Susie, when are we recording? What are we talking about? What are we doing?
time flies when you're having fun.
It's true.
Yeah, how was your week?
My week was good. Actually, I wanted to tell you, this is kind of funny. I finally met my neighbors. Listen,
Okay.
girls, they've lived by me for like 2 years. And I wanted to be that neighbor, Susie, that was like, I'm going to bake them cookies and I'm
Right.
going to knock on their door and I'm going to introduce myself. And it's not that I was unfriendly to them. I would see them like in the backyard and I'd give them a wave and a smile. But it was never like the right time to just go over there.
Yeah, I get
But
that.
my husband is so social and he has had many conversations with these people.
Oh, so
then,
he knows them.
Yes. And then I was feeling terrible and I was like, Adam, like, you know these people by first name. I don't know anything about them. Like, I'm feeling terrible. Like, do I need to just go over there? But I kept feeling like the opportunity will present itself eventually. So the other day I go outside on my deck and I'm like putting cushions away. I'm trying to clean up and I notice my husband is standing by the fence talking to the guy.
Like Tim Allen in
Yes.
is it Home Improvement?
Tim Allen
where
and
he-
Wilson.
Yes,
You just see
through
the
the
head.
fence.
I know. So, of course, I was like, Sherry, you need
You
to
have
go
to
over
go.
there. So I go in the garage, I get my shoes on, and I go over there. And I just said, his name is Paul. I said, I am so sorry. I feel like the worst neighbor.
Well, they haven't met you either.
Right.
So
But they're new. So you
yeah.
feel like
No,
the
they're
new
not.
ones.
They've been there 2 years.
The new ones moving into the neighborhood shouldn't have to go.
Wow.
But anyways, all that to say.
You also have 4
They're
kids.
super nice. They're engaged. They're getting married in October. They look young, probably late 20s.
Yeah.
But she had a couple like really sweet dogs and we were just chit-chatting about things. So I felt good about myself because I was like, they are very close neighbors. It's not like a house that you see in the distance. We could probably open our windows and have a conversation with each other.
That makes a difference.
It does.
Yeah.
Because it's someone you're seeing all the time. They're always outside with their doggies and I'm sitting on the deck and we just give each other a wave. But I'm like, I need to probably actually know these people.
We took cookies to one of our neighbors once a few years ago and they weren't home. And
Did you just leave them?
no, they were away for like a
Oh.
week. I was
you
kind
can't
of
just leave them.
Well, I was kind of worried about them because their car was there, but they weren't. And so, but I hadn't like seen movement or motion for days at their house. So I was like, I think I might have sent, okay, truth be told, now I don't know if I went or if I sent one of my kids.
You probably sent one of the kids because that's what I would have
don't
done.
know, but
Go
I
deliver
think-
these cookies.
I don't remember if they talked to us through their Ring camera and that's how I knew they were gone for the week or
Okay,
something. But that
okay.
was the one time we tried and they
Yes.
were away for the whole week.
I don't know. I just love
So-
the idea, though. I love the idea of being neighborly. Like one of my best friends, she's getting together with her neighbors all the time, and they have like fires in the backyard, and it's
That's
very
cute.
like community based. And I don't really feel like I have that in mind. It depends on where you live.
I think
really,
that
it
happens on
depends on where
TV.
you live. I know.
I do. I don't think that happens that
Don't you
often.
kind of love the idea of it though? Like having like block parties with your neighbors and
I
inviting
know.
everyone, and I don't know.
So next week, my sister is going to be on our podcast with us.
I am so excited for
I
that.
am too, but it makes me think when her son passed away, I went out there to see them. And that first week, all of the neighbors came over to their house one evening and we all sat around a fire and just talked and hung out.
love
It was
that.
a lot of like the men were all hanging out. But I had never been to her house before. She lives in Oklahoma.
Yeah, she's out of state.
And I assumed they did this regularly. And then after the fact, I was talking to her about it, and she said that's never happened before, and it has never happened since.
You're kidding.
And so I had this like beautiful picture. I'm like, what an incredible place you live.
Yeah.
This is, and they hadn't
And
lived
that's
there
not
for
how
years
it
and
was,
years.
though.
No, that was like a one-off.
But I will say, at least they all showed up, like, in her time of grief, I guess. It was more of like a, maybe we're all coming to support her.
True, but I was like kind of like jealous. Like, oh my goodness.
That's what I mean.
Incredible.
I don't have that in my neighborhood.
Does anyone, do you? I guess.
But I think if you're more, like, I'm curious, if you're more in like a housing development, okay, where like it's very almost just everyone knows everyone. You're all trick-or-treating together. I'm wondering if that happens. I'm curious. Because where my friend lives, she's in Syracuse in a housing development. And so far, like, she's been to like 3 of the neighbors' houses and they like invite each other over.
Maybe when we lived in Illinois, we lived in a community like that on a cul-de-sac, cute little neighborhood. Yeah. We did know our one neighbor because our kids became really good friends. Aww. But I mean, even then we weren't really hanging out like the moms every once in a while. And I did have them over, like it was her and there was another mom and they were good friends. I had them over like once or twice.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. It has to be a pretty special situation, I think, for that to happen.
And you have to mesh with your neighbors. You're kind of going to know. You know what I mean? You want to hang out with people who you have fun with. Because let's face it, you're not going to keep wanting to hang out with people if you're not having a good time. You're just not. Mm-mm. So, yeah, let me know. Do you guys hang out with your neighbors? I know my mom does. Her neighbors, they're like best friends, but I just don't know how common that is. But I love the idea of it.
Well, I think they're going to be over because you guys are both so personable.
Yeah.
I hope you like them. I know.
Because they were very sweet. They really were. And my husband was like, we should have a fire over the summer and invite them over. So we probably will.
How are your aunts?
How are my aunts?
Are you still fighting the battle against the
Oh, my goodness. You know what's funny? You said aunts, and I literally thought like my aunt.
I know. I could tell.
My aunt. No, the aunts. They are.
Did you win?
Dwindling. Okay. I will still see one random, like here or there, but not hundreds. Like the colony is dead from all of my poison. So I'm happy about that.
Way to go.
Yes.
8 of my 9 caterpillars have transformed to butterflies.
How fun.
There's 1 left, so we'll probably let them go today.
So right now they're all still in their little enclosement.
Yeah, it's like a pop-up net, and they're all in there.
So there's how many left? 2 that have it?
1. There's 1 that's left. The cats have only knocked it down once because they see the fluttering.
Yeah, and they're like, what is that? Is that a toy I can play with?
Kill them all. Aww. So we'll probably let them go.
Yeah. So, Susie, I have my glasses on today, and I just told her before we started filming, I am dizzy. I am having one of these weeks. I think it might be allergies. Aww. I'm not claiming that over myself, but I am one of those girls, like in the spring, I feel like tired behind my eyes and a lot of pressure, and I just feel a little off today. But I had the most traumatic eye doctor appointment. I have to tell you about this quick. I know I've talked about this before. I did not go get my eyes checked for probably 20 some odd years. Right. When I went, the eye doctor said we found a nevus in your eye.
Yes.
Which is a fancy word for you have a freckle, like a small freckle in your eye.
Okay.
But, it's like 1 out of a million, whatever, that it could turn into like melanoma in your eye, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to send you to a specialist.
Okay.
So Friday I went.
It's like a mole on your skin that you have to get checked out.
Basically the same type of thing. He goes, you can get, and I didn't know this, he goes, you can get freckles anywhere in your body, including your eyes.
Okay.
So I have a small one in my right eye. So he sent me to a retina specialist. And they did an ultrasound of my eyeball.
What?
I was horrified when this
your eyeball.
Yes. So first they numb your eyeball with drops. So they numbed me all up, and I'm going like, and I am like just prone to being an anxious person. When I'm not in control of the situation, I tend to get a little like antsy. Like, what's going on? I don't understand what this whole procedure is. So they numb me up, and it kind of like almost went like to the outsides of my eyes. So everything feels numb and weird. Then they dilate your eyes. Mm-hmm. So I had not had that done. I don't know ever. Fun. I didn't realize it made you like your vision goes like blurry. Mm-hmm. So I can't really see. That's freaking me out. And then they say, lay back. We're going to do an ultrasound of your eyeball. And I said, what do you mean? I said, you're going to take that wand and put it in my eye? And she said, yeah.
Wow.
So then she starts squirting. I can only
Like a gel.
Like a gel. It's like a thick Vaseline into my eyeball, and I really can't see. And I'm
How
like,
are you keeping your eye open?
yeah, she's like holding it open with her hands, and she's sticking this wand up. And then she sticks it down, and she sticks to the left, and she sticks. And I am just like, what is going on? Susie, I started to have like a panic attack.
Really?
So when she's all done with it, she goes, you can go wait in this like special waiting room. My husband's in the normal waiting room.
Yeah.
She has me wait. I like pull out my phone, can't see to text him, cannot see, but I kind of knew where he was in my contacts. So I called him and I said, you have to come find me. You have to come back here. I'm freaking out.
Wow.
So he did. He was very sweet, and he came and he sat with me and he held my hand. But I was on the I was like, I don't like this. This is weird. That almost, it just was not on my radar for the day to be blind.
Right. And they didn't explain any of it to you ahead of time.
No,
They just started
I had
doing
no
it.
clue. But I will say the saving grace in all of this was the eye doctor who finally came in after an hour of testing said, you have wonderful eyes. We are not concerned about this small little freckle in your eye.
No,
we will
geez.
see you back in a year. And if nothing changes, he said, you don't have to come back ever.
So do you have to repeat this in a year?
Yes.
But
And
then
I'm
you're free.
already dreading it. He goes, we have to go through all the same like diagnostic testing. We'll do another ultrasound of your eye, but then hopefully you don't have to come back. So I'm already like, oh my gosh. I'm like already panicked.
So it's just preventative
It's
to
preventative.
make sure.
But who knew? An ultrasound of your eyeball? That's odd. That's weird.
I know, that is weird. Well, I was laying on the couch yesterday. I had fallen asleep, took a little nap.
Yeah.
Woke up. Adeline was in the next room over, and she had a friend over. So I stood up to walk to go and see them.
Yeah.
And in the course of walking 10 feet, by the time I had walked 10 feet, my vision, I had been laying down for a while. And you know, when you get up and everything goes dark.
Zoop,
Yes.
It starts to close in on you.
I could see like little binoculars through, like everything else was
It's
dark
so
and black.
scary.
And I started like breathing
Yep.
heavy. I'm like,
Yeah, you instantly hyperventilate.
yeah.
Yes.
And I was fine. Like I wasn't, I
Yes.
knew it was
Yes.
just, I stood up too quick, whatever. But the kids are just looking at me. And I'm like, I'm fine. And then
Okay.
Adeline's friend says, don't get old, folks.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, yep. Truer words
This is
have
what
never been
happens.
spoken.
We just
Yeah.
wake up one day, we're fine. We wake up and then we're dizzy. You just never know.
Don't wake up because, or don't get old because you can't stand up
It's
quickly.
awful.
You have to slowly, which I'm never going to do
know.
that. I'm going to.
Oh, I did bring you something. I brought you an electrolyte packet because
Oh,
I'm kind of obsessed with these. I actually thought I had bought Liquid IV, but this was a different brand I tried. LMNT. I don't know if it stands for something. Lemon. I don't know. I listened to a podcaster
Yeah.
talk about it, and he was ranting and raving about it. It's lemonade salt. So it takes a little getting used to because your drink
Yes.
will be salty, but
Yes.
I'm obsessed. It's so good.
so I
Have you
not
tried this
that
brand?
No, but I will.
I want you to
Thank
try. Let me know what
I
you
will.
think. Drink it on like a hot day when you need to be like hydrated.
I do have an electrolyte that has salt, and it's supposed to
Okay.
be like a really good
Yeah.
quality
Yeah.
salt for you because
never-
that's what you need
Yes.
to get.
Yes.
Is the salt.
I was at a client's house at the beginning of the week, and it was very hot in her house. That's when we had like 2 days of summer, and then it turned back into this 50-degree nonsense we're having. But it was like a 4-hour clean. I had been there quite a while, and I was really hot.
4
Yes, and I
hours.
was sweating like crazy. And girls, like just Susie had kind of said, I stood up too fast, and I thought I was gonna pass out. It was this. No one was there with me, but everything started. I got tunnel vision, and I got so dizzy. I just went to the floor. Like I was like and then I was shaky, and I didn't feel good. And I had drank coffee the entire morning, which dehydrates you, by the way.
Yeah.
Had not had any water, so then I ordered these just to be like, okay, I need a little extra hydration. So
I was at a pastor's conference last week, and it was like worship, right? So there are all these pastors, and I felt a little dizzy too, just for a second. I don't know why, but I felt a little dizzy. And so the thought went through my mind, what if I passed out right here? And I was wearing a dress, and I was like, I'm in a room full of pastors. I bet if I passed out, they would be most concerned about covering me up so I wouldn't flash anybody.
Yes. We don't want to see Susie's,
They would care
cute
about
little
that
butt.
before I would get medical attention, probably. But I was like, well, the only saving grace is if I pass out, I won't know.
Have you ever passed out?
No, never.
So I have many times, and I think this is where the fear is based.
So you're like, get to the ground.
Yes, I know the feeling. I know when it's coming on. So when I get a little dizzy or a little off, I'm always like,
get down.
Is it happening? Is it happening? Oh my gosh, am I passing out? And most of the time I don't, but I just think I freak myself out. So I'm going to drink electrolytes, and hopefully I'll be okay this summer because I don't know. Maybe it
stop
is
doing 4-hour cleans. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
My house needs a 4-hour clean.
I actually would have really fun doing that for you, Susie. One of these days, we should just get together and we'll drink our coffee and clean your house. It would be fun. I would love it.
I would love it if you were there with me.
That's what I'm saying. It's fun to do it with someone.
Really?
When you have a friend to clean with, like
know.
once in a great while. No, it's not embarrassing. I can talk like Natalie into coming to clean with me, or Abby's come with me before.
Well,
and
it's
Adam,
fun.
Doesn't
Adam,
my sweet husband. If I have a big job to do, a big deep clean, he will come and he'll do windows. He'll help me move out furniture, and it makes all the difference.
It's a lot of work.
It's so much work. I'm going to retire soon. Sorry to all the girls listening that I clean your houses. I'm just kidding. I'm probably not, but I'm just saying.
In her dreams.
In my dreams, I probably, probably won't do this for too much longer. But anyway, I had a great conversation, Susie. I was kind of thinking about this week. What do I want this podcast to be about? And I know we like to just chat about our week and whatever, but we do like to sort of have a little kind of spiritual element or encouragement in it. And I kept thinking, about the concept of unrushing ourselves, because we get so caught up in life with a busy schedule, sticking to that schedule, especially me. Like, I will schedule clients and you have your time slot, and that's when I'm at your house, and then I have to leave because someone else is waiting for me. Right. So I don't always have a lot of wiggle room. There's not always a lot. I eat my lunch in the car between clients' houses. Like, I'll just grab a granola bar or whatever. I just don't have a lot of time in my day.
Well, you don't schedule yourself breaks because you want to get it done.
You just want to get
you
in,
have kids
get
coming
out
home from school, and dinner that has to be cooked. And
Yes. But I was at a client's house, and she was working and her husband was working. They have 2 little kids. One is in school, and the year and a half-year-old was home.
Aww.
But the mother-in-law was there babysitting.
Oh, okay.
And I had seen this lady a couple other times, but we never really talked. But I sort of kept feeling a pull towards her, like, we need to talk about something, but I'm not sure what. But we were kind of just like, I cleaned the upstairs. She was downstairs. I was downstairs. She was trying to stay out of my way.
Yeah.
So I was getting ready to leave. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm even 15 minutes ahead of my schedule. Like, I did so good today. So I'm getting ready to leave. And she just made a sweet little comment like, do you have more houses to clean, or are you going home?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, right? Like, we're just going to chit chat for a minute. Susie, when I tell you, it like opened the door for her to talk to me about health issues and her ex-husband who's dying of cancer.
Wow.
She has lost a son to a traumatic accident that happened. I think he was like 30, just died instantly.
Wow.
I mean, we just got talking about all of this stuff. She's crying.
Oh my
I'm
goodness,
hugging this
Sherry.
woman who I don't know.
Wow.
And then the coolest part was I had an opportunity to talk to her about the Lord. It was just a simple, like, I hope you know that, you have the hope of heaven someday, and I hope you'll be reunited with your son. And then, we started talking about how we have to hold on to that hope, because without it, what's the point, right? Like, what's the point? And she said, what if we get to the end of our lives and there's nothing?
Yeah, that's such a real fear,
it is.
because she has someone that she desperately wants to see again.
And she said, I know, like, I shouldn't think that way, because maybe I won't go to heaven if I think that way. And I said, no.
But that's fear.
First of all, God can handle your doubts.
Yeah.
It's okay to sometimes question that. I said, what if we do? What if we get to the end of our lives and there's nothing? I would rather go through life with that hope and believing in Jesus. I said, first of all, that's not true. I do not believe that is true, but you can hypothetically pretend that for a minute.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So we were able to we were talking about heaven, and we were talking about the Lord, and I was able to encourage her. And I thought, you know what, Sherry, what if you had walked out
Right.
and just said, okay, bye, have a good day, you would have missed all of that.
So
that
true.
whole conversation.
Right.
But how often, Susie, do we do that? And I
Yeah.
know there are times, I'm not going to get this perfect. No one will. We have to keep to a schedule. Sometimes there are doctor's appointments. You have to pick up your kid. There are things you cannot be late for.
Yeah.
But I could be late for my next client's house with no repercussions. It's totally fine. Like, it was almost like God was just saying, uninterrupt yourself for a minute. Like, it's
Yeah.
okay. Slow down. Stop rushing. Like, I want you to have a conversation with this woman.
Yeah. And to make room.
Make room.
Make room in your life. Make room in your schedule.
Yes.
It's funny that you were talking about this because just today after church, we are doing this podcast. I also had another meeting with our media guy to make sure we're ready for a sisterhood conference, which
so much going on.
Yes. But so while I'm talking with him and I know I have these other things lined up, a woman comes and says, I'm so sorry to interrupt. My granddaughter just really wants to say hi to you and tell you something. But you have a choice to make, right?
We always
do. You can choose to say, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm running behind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I went over and talked to her. And again, she was like, I'm so sorry. And I said, like, no, of course, like anytime, every time. Right. Yes. And of course, like you said, we don't live our lives that way. No. Like, I'm not going to get it right every time. Right. You're not going to get it right every time.
Exactly.
But when you do, how incredible that you are making room for God to move.
Well, the thing is, you can't ask God, right? Lord, use me, and then not allow yourself to be
too busy.
used.
Use me tomorrow.
But how often
I don't have time today.
How often do we say that, though,
all
or pray
the time.
that? Like, Lord, I just want to be used by you. And he's saying, okay, I want you to talk to this person. And we're like, well, that's not what you meant, right? Like, I don't have time for this conversation. That's where God will use you, in the conversations.
Right.
People need a word of encouragement. People need a friend. People need someone to just say, she listened to me. Someone listened to me. And the even the client's mother-in-law, she said, like, I'm so sorry for dumping all that on you. And I said, oh my gosh, no. I wish I had more time. I would sit here and have coffee with you and we could chit chat more.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Do you have a way to get in touch with her?
I could, yes.
I was just thinking you should invite her to Sisterhood Friday night because we're going to be talking about heaven.
I love that.
The whole theme is heavenly minded.
Yes.
My sister's coming to share her story of losing her son and how it impacted her faith.
Yeah.
And so you let me know. We're sold out, but if we can make room.
We can make room
We
for
can make
one
room
more.
for one more. Yes. So you let me know. But that's such a good word. So what does that look like practically for us to make room? I know one of the ideas that you had was to put your phone down when your kid comes in the room.
Oh my goodness, I am so guilty of this. So often I will sit on the couch and I'll grab my phone and it's like, it's me time. I finally get to sit. I finally get to relax. And that's when my youngest will come in and she'll want to tell me something and I'll be listening to her, but my head is down and I'm absorbed in what I'm doing on my phone. So what am I really telling my daughter? I'm not really, you listen with your eyes, right? Like, look up, look at your child when they're talking to you or your spouse or whoever it is. Just nothing's more important than when a kid wants to have a conversation with you. Oh, take the time.
Put your phone down. For me and my season, it's teenagers at bedtime.
Oh, yes.
It's when I'm in my bed and I'm ready to go to sleep. And that's when usually the teenager has something they want to chat about. But when when you have little kids, you're right. It's when you feel like, okay, I've carved this time out for me.
Yes.
Because then you can almost justify it in your mind and miss the opportunity.
Yes. And there's nothing wrong. Do not get me wrong when I say there's nothing wrong with me time. It's so good to fill yourself up and to take time for yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Because our family and our kids will always demand from us. They always need something. They always want something. But when a kid really does need to talk to you and they want to unload and they want to tell you about their day, make time for it.
Do you feel like your mom was better at this at our age than you are?
Yes.
I do too. I remember.
My goodness,
yes. I remember my mom being on the phone, having conversations, being with friends.
Yes.
It seems like much more than what I do.
Yes. I think I don't know, they were just better at it. And I'm wondering sometimes if it was because this was pre-social media.
Yeah.
You know, like friendships were just more, I think, prioritized. Phone calls were definitely more my mom still prefers a phone call over a text because that's, you know, what she was used to.
Well, I also think women working outside of the home is a different phenomenon and a different than maybe what some of our moms experienced. Did your mom work?
My mom, no. Well, she ended up working later on. We were teenagers. She was home with us all when we were kids.
Yeah,
so.
Same. My mom would have like some little side jobs or things here and there, but she was home, and so there was, I think, more of an investment into friendships.
I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
But we can't make excuses. We have to get better at that.
Well, because you know how important it is. Me and Susie have actually laughed, and we've talked about how, I mean, not to sound morbid, but our husbands will probably die before us, and we're going to need each other in old age.
Well, the average lifespan for a man is significantly less than a woman. It's
it's 70s, isn't it?
I think it's 68 for
No.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But
that seems so young.
That does seem young. Maybe it's not that young.
But like some old lady, like we could live into our 90s.
You absolutely could. My grandma lived till she was 94, I want to say. Lived on her own, drove, everything.
I just cleaned for a lady. Well, she's in assisted living now, but she just turned 97. And she still like has her mind about her. She is sharp as a tack. It's not like she doesn't know who she is. She is like all there. 97.
I don't know, Sherry. We can't get up off the couch without our vision going black. So
without
who knows what's going to happen?
Yes, that is very true. We can't move without feeling like we're going to pass out. So, oh my gosh. We might be old, but we'll be like, Susie, I can't see you. And
I know, right?
I can't make it across the room.
So this week we're going to unrush. We're gonna
love the idea of that.
The little things. We're gonna notice the people in our lives that have something to say that we need to hear.
My mother has, noticed, like, it's almost like having a sense, like there are certain people, like even when she's grocery shopping, she is that woman who will stop and pray for the person in the grocery store. And I love that idea. I'm not saying that's something everyone has to do. It doesn't come natural, right? But when someone really actually needs
it is
a little
true.
special extra attention.
Yes, or there's someone that catches your eye, or like you said, you feel drawn to them. Yes. And if you will say yes, and you will lean into that, and you will ask God to open that door, you will be amazed at what God will do.
I'm talking about all my clients today, but I had a client who was experiencing a lot of pain. I think it was in her arm, and she kept telling me about it, and I kept feeling like, you're supposed to pray for her. Yeah. And I kept saying, no, I'm not doing that, Lord. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. It took me 2 hours. I was cleaning this lady's house, and it took me 2 hours, and she said something about her arm, and I said, can I just pray for your arm? And she said, oh my God, like, yes, thank you. And I did. I prayed for her arm, and it was just a quick, simple prayer. But it's just being obedient when you feel like God is telling you, talk to that person or pray for that person or just listen to that. You don't have to talk to them. Just listen to them. People just want to be heard.
Yeah. So true. It's so good. And what I love about that too is when you put God first in your life in that way, I also feel like God creates opportunities for you to receive as well.
Well, it blesses you just as much as it blesses them, I think, really.
It's so true.
And it grows your faith, and you feel like, it exercises your faith, right? Like when you pray for someone, then you feel like, well, I could pray for somebody else, or I could do this again. It's just stepping out because it's fear, really. You feel like, what are they going to think? Oftentimes, girls, no, people don't usually say no. Like if you ask, can I pray for you? There may be a few times when people will say like, oh, no, thank you. Or that makes me uncomfortable. Most of the time people appreciate it when they appreciate the prayers. They'll take all the prayers that they can get.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Oh, I found a great little verse too. This is from Isaiah 54. The sovereign Lord has given me a well-instructed tongue to know the word that sustains the weary. And what it is basically saying, like, God will equip you to speak to those tired hearts, those
Yeah.
tired and weary hearts.
Aw.
You don't have to pre-think it. It's not premeditated
Right.
in the time, right? He will give you the right words to say.
Right. To just start speaking.
Yes.
And then he will put
Like,
those
I
words
think we
in your
don't
mouth.
always want to say anything because we think we don't have the right words, but there's no
Yeah.
real right or wrong words. It's just being, faithful to what God is telling you to do.
And being present with people, that goes such a
Present.
long way.
Yes, yes. So truly, I mean, it's an interesting concept because we are, so busy, but just slow down a little bit. This week, slow down a little bit. Just
be a little slower to pick your phone up or a little quicker to put it down.
Love that.
I mean, how many times, even when you're driving, you get to a stoplight and the first thing you want to do, like, I'm going to be here for 6 seconds. I better pick up my phone.
I know.
But what if you're taking those 6 seconds to just say a little prayer, to ask the Lord into your life, to meditate on a word that you've read that He's given you? Or
it's true. These darn phones. These darn phones, Susie.
I know it's true.
I carry it with me into every room, and then I'm like, Sherry, you don't need it.
But that's why we need to have these conversations, to encourage each other, remind each other, because you're doing something that no one else is at that point. Like everyone is on their phone. So
all
it's
the
good
time.
to surround yourself with people that are saying, no, I'm not going to live my life addicted to this screen.
I had sort of challenged myself. I want to say it was maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't think it was last week, but I didn't go on Facebook for the whole week.
Okay.
And I was like, it was
felt like freedom.
It was like a weight lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to go on our Pinksy Instagram, which, by the way, if you guys have not followed us on Instagram, please do.
So glad you said that.
So I'm loving that page. That's been a lot of fun. But my personal Instagram, I've sort of gotten off a little because, again, how many things can you try to keep up with?
You're mostly
it's
just
too much.
consuming at that point.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like our Pink Seat page, you're producing, you're creating content. That's very different than just consuming other people's.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it was freeing. I was like, oh, this is wonderful to just take a little step away from it. I had time for other things in the evening. I wasn't like, I have to check all my different apps. I was much more present with my family.
So good.
So girls, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
I love it. Yeah. Maybe my wheels are spinning for what kind of summer challenge we can do.
Yes, I know.
To break out of social media and enter the land of real social.
Yes. Maybe
encounters.
You just need to go meet your neighbors.
Meet your neighbors.
If you've lived by your neighbors for more than 2 years and you don't know their names, you probably should go meet them.
That's great. It's like our summer bucket list
challenge.
To be social.
Be a little more social with your neighbors, or
less social media
and more in-person social. I love it. I love it.
So good. Good word.
Girls, go follow us, please. I know I already said this, but we have our YouTube page and we have our Instagram page and we are on Facebook, and we would love it if you followed us.
Yes, and set a reminder to come back next week. We'll be here with my sister as our special guest.
Oh, you're not going to want to miss that one.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be really
we love
good.
you. We're praying for you. Have the best week.
Bye, girls.